So we are going to do things a little differently. We're going to do 2 in the room and 2 virtual, and we're going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the time delay. Michael just said that. Because of the time delay.
Okay. They said that it would be fine.
Is there a delay still? I mean, it
Yes.
appears to us that
Okay,
there
we'll
is a
just do
delay.
it. Then we'll do it that way. Okay, so can you hear me? Can you hear the mic? Okay. All right. First up, we have Pedro Ibarra. Come on up.
Aloha everybody. I've been here before, but my question is, how come nobody investigating Hālawa prison? Because I asked Hālawa prison to investigate, why is all of us getting sick? Why is all of us inmates just, right already, I mean, you're talking about all kinds of stuff. I wake up every day. For the past 3 years, my ears flooded. Nasty smell. You know, vertigo, you know, gut issues, 4 colonoscopies in 5 years when I was inside the prison. Horrible. And I asked Ernie Law, you know, I'm approaching, you know, he wanted to talk last year when I first started going to this stuff. And he said, yeah, we did reroute the water. We went, you know, to the prison. They were shut down half of the prison. And I knew guys who was in that high security facility. They sick. You know, it's like, where's the justice? You know, I'm asking everybody, senators, representatives, everybody on emails, calling them up. They directed me to lawyers and whatnot. I tell them, lawyers not going to help us. We're not getting help from nobody. And I understand. This is a major trip, and my heart goes out to everybody in 2021 spill. I never even know that thing was going on. I never even know the prison was right next to all these tanks. But we used to smell. We used to look at our water and have the little tinge on top with the rainbow. We're not thinking anything, you know. We're just doing time. But I feel them today, and plenty of other guys feel them. And I know of guys who died. You know what I mean? Oh, where brother stay? Oh, he gone. This is nuts. Okay, I go doctor. They give me the runarounds. They don't know what to do. Can we get some kind of doctor, professor, scientist or something? Can we get an investigation where the EPA stay? I call the EPA. They give me one number in Washington. Nothing.
Finish your thought.
You know, I mean, see, 2 minutes is a joke, bro. I'm talking about human life, bro. You guys, you know, it's all fine and dandy with you guys. I understand the 2021 spill. I talked to Jay. I'm on the registry. I'm with Tarasati and Jamie. They even asked me for be on there because they felt me. And I'm like, we got people out there that 90% recidivism rate now for go back to prison. Why? Because they don't care. And I ask them, well, you get sick or they say, well, doctors don't know what's happening, bro. Nobody knows what's happening. But I know you guys know what's happening. I know, sir, maybe I get all that bacteria coming out of my head every morning. It is a horrible experience I wake up to. For 3 years. And I've been out of prison for 5.
Thank you.
And it's just horrible. And I understand you guys get on a time limit, but yeah, I understand. I'm a nobody in this situation. I'm just a prisoner, an ex-prisoner. And I write to everybody, and they always do this, the same thing that you're doing to me. Oh, thank you. You know, move on. And I understand that. I'm not here for make trouble. I'm just here for the Navy. They was blowing up dynamite for how many? 50 plus years right next to your facility. How is that? We feeling them in the prison. Oh, buddy, you fell down. How is that Hawaii not getting in trouble for that? To me, I feel like me. My dad was in the Navy. I grew up Navy. Okay? I'm like, bro, it's not all their fault. How come only this facility getting problems? Why? Because they're blowing up dynamite right there. Right in the line, right next door to you guys. Hawaii is a corrupt system. This system is corrupt. I'm sick. Many guys are sick out there. Many guys have died. I look at that and I flip. I trip. I'm like, whoa. This is Hawaii. We're not supposed to have this kind of situation. We're not supposed to have this kind of water going on. We have a president from Hawaii who never do nothing about this.
Yeah, John.
This is crazy. And what, Board of Health don't even take care of nothing with inmates.
I've spoken to you here at other CRI meetings, and I've taken your complaint seriously. We did send someone out to do samples at the prison, but also that water that's serving the prison is a border water supply system. So maybe
I don't know anything about
Ernie,
the water. I just tell you
address
guys.
his concern about
People
the
are
water.
sick. People are sick. You can justify all you like. You can say this, and that, or we're not responsible. But why are people sick? I go online on the registry, and I get the same things going on. And the guys that I know, as the people in that is on the registry with me, I tell you guys going through this. You guys any problems and this and
Thank you. Is there a Bureau of Prisons Health division?
the Bureau of Prisons Commission.
Well,
When
that-
kick me, when laugh at me when I went go on top of them.
Well, that could be responsible for these issues, and that might be the appropriate.
I have no idea.
No idea.
Who are you? Who you with the Navy or something?
No, I'm the facilitator for this meeting. as
It
well.
would be nice to get people's
Because
emails.
there are
and
so many people that want to speak this evening.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm doing the time. It's not.
I
anything
understand.
against
I
you.
understand.
There's now 11 other people that
Okay.
really need to take their time. So can we move to the next person in the room that wants to do this?
I guess so.
Okay, thank
But
you.
life and death. Think about it, guys. People dying. I'm sick. Okay.
Okay, next we have Ernie Lau, followed by Rebecca Hall.
Christmas.
Ernie?
Hi, Ernie Lau, Board of Water Supply, and I guess I'll watch my 2 minutes, but just to follow up, the prison is on the Board of Water Supply water system and not the Navy's water system. But I do want to point out the location of the prison is right next to the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. In 2021, when fuel was spilling for 30 plus hours near Red Hill Shaft, that's the location is right near adit number 3. The spill occurred right near the ventilation system, so the fumes would have been vacating the space, would have been evacuated out of the tunnel system and sent out into the environment. I do know one person that actually smelled fuel during that time on the H1 freeway while they were driving for a number of minutes as they were passing the area. So I think I feel what Pedro's saying. I think the issue might be the issue of inhalation exposure during the fuel, 30 hours of spill of the fuel water mixture near adit 3 Red Hill Shaft. And the prisoners, I don't think they have air conditioning in their system, so they would have been in an area breathing fumes for a sustained period of time, maybe over a day.
Thank you.
I think I just want to take the last 45 seconds here. Now it's 42 seconds to talk about the golf courses on the military base. I think Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam has 3 golf courses. The Navy Marine Golf Course, that's along Nimitz Highway and Valkenburg, and also the Hickam Golf Course on the Hickam Air Force Base. They also have the Bars Point Golf Course over in Kailua. I believe at least the Navy Marine Course and the Hickam Golf Course use drinking water from the Navy's water system. The Barbers Point Golf Course, that one I'm not 100% sure if they're using our recycled wastewater, or if they aren't, then they're using drinking water. I would encourage the Navy to look at using non-potable water for these golf courses. In the summertime, a golf course can use 500,000 gallons of water for irrigation. The Navy Marine Corps Base Hawaii Golf Course, we've been pressuring them, and the commander is very supportive and receptive in the reauthorization to reopen the federal government recently. Looks like they allocated $108 million toward a wastewater reclamation system at Navy Marine Corps Base Hawaii in Kaʻi Hawaii.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that update.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry, my contact just fell out. Can you let someone else go? I'll be right back.
Marty, can you come on up?
Aloha, Marty Townsend. Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify. It's nice to see you all. I think a change in people is a good thing. It's nice to see new faces. I just hope that there's sufficient follow-through from previous meetings. I mean, we've been going around the question of notice to residents for I don't know how long, years. Ben, it's been years that we have been talking about this. You can't be like, I don't know who's on the Navy water line. That just doesn't fly anymore, man. Come on, all right? It's been 4 years. You guys have a list. You guys have everybody's addresses. It's the U.S. military. You're following us all the time. Please tell us about the status of our water. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask. It really is not too much to ask. Thank you. Second, I would really like to hear about the budget. I'm here for the receipts. I want to know how much money you guys got appropriated, and I want to know what you spent it on, and I want to know how much is left. And we can assess whether that money was spent well or not, but please, I've been asking also for this information for years, and it shouldn't be too much to ask. Taxpayers have a right to know how their tax money is being used, and I mean, I don't want to have to ask for an audit. It'd be better if you guys just like told us how much money you got in total. I know there are multiple appropriations to you folks, and I know that there was like money reassigned within the Navy's budget, and so if you could please document all of that for us and let us know, you know, how it was spent, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I think that's sufficient. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Becca from DLNR. I'm part of the redhillCRI team that's been newly established in the chair's office. And we just wanted to let everybody know that our team has been working with Anthology Research to conduct a survey. We are working to gather feedback from community members to better understand community perspectives on the Red Hill fuel spill and related issues. All of your opinions are very important to us and will help our team develop our future communications, education, and outreach efforts. The survey will launch in early January 2026. It will be available at redhillCRI.com. When the survey is ready to launch, we will make an official announcement and send the survey link to all our community agency partners, including EPA, DOH, and Red Hill Registry have all agreed to already help us circulate the survey link. Our team looks forward to hearing everybody's feedback in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Karen, I believe we're moving online now. No? One more.
Yeah, we have one more, Susan Pacola Davis. Come on up.
Is Matt Cohen still on the line? I need him to go to one of his slides. The slide that says, how has the plume changed? Are you there?
I'm here. It may take me a minute to get it pulled up.
Okay, just go to the last transition on that slide, where it has a legend on the left-hand side with the different color codes in that area, and then the one with the very dark blue in the middle. I want to know where that's located.
I want to know where which is located.
Well, did you get to the slide and the last transition on that slide?
Yeah. Yep. Can you see it?
No.
No. Nope. You can't because I'm not sharing.
Is there a way to move the timer to a smaller screen so that we can see the slides?
Okay. So on the left-hand side, it shows total TPH concentrations, parts per billion.
Right.
The very dark blue, can you read that out loud on the legend?
Yeah. It says greater than 500, and that's parts per billion.
Okay, then can you go back to the slide?
I don't know. I may have lost ability to share. Hold on. Try again. Okay.
While he's doing that, is there a way you can narrate?
No. See the dark blue in the middle? Where is that located and where is the light blue?
The dark blue is at the toe of the tank gallery, so it's
Tank gallery.
basically,
Okay, it's at the
Yeah,
tank
Jason.
shaft. It's still at the shaft, Red Hill shaft, right?
well, Red Hill Shaft is the drinking water, so it's not.
I'm sorry,
It's not.
the storage tank system. Okay, I
yes,
understand where that is.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
if you see all those little dots, and then the other part is down near Adit 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I'm hoping that that didn't just tell me to stop. Earlier in the evening, I heard something to the effect of, we know contaminants are coming out of Camp Smith. Is there anyone from the Navy that would like to speak to that? And what contaminants that are coming from Camp Smith when they're receiving their water from the Waiaba shaft?
And I just want to note, is that the end of your
Yeah.
question? Okay, thank you. And we are taking note of questions, so there will be opportunity for those, some of those questions to be taken back, as Bentley said. Okay, sure.
Okay, we are now transitioning to online participants, and first up is Peggy Wagner, followed by Mandy Fine.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello?
Yes,
We can hear you online.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, we can all hear you.
Okay, thank you. I guess you can't see me, but that's okay. Hey, I just want to thank you all for talking about the lack of communication and to talk so much about Capilina Beach Homes. I'm an affected member. I've lived there for 5 years. All we've had is finger pointing. I've talked to many people at NAVFAC, admirals, captains, commanders, and they say, oh, that's Capilina's responsibility. And you talk to Capilina and they say, oh no, that's the Navy. Specifically, I want to talk about flushing hot water heaters. I have tried for 4 years to get our hot water heater flushed. The Navy said, oh no, that's not our responsibility, that's Capilina. Capilina says, oh no, that's not Capilina, that's the Navy. Well, finally, last week, I got maintenance to come out to flush our hot water heater. As he started the procedure, I told him I want to collect the water. And he said, oh no, you can't do that. Wait a minute. And he left. He came back and he said, I can't do it. So he'd gone back to the office and he was told I couldn't have the water. Well, I ended up getting in touch with Grace Star Management, someone in the corporate office, and she said, yes, I could. So I had him come back, and I now have collected water from my hot water heater that really looks awful. And I'd like to find out where I can get that water tested. I understand it has to be off island, that it's not done here. So if someone could give me that information, I would greatly appreciate it. And then find out and talk about why all the hot water heaters are not being flushed. I'm concerned about what's in the hot water heaters. I'm concerned about what is flushed into our yard. I live oceanfront. Where's that water going? So that's my concern. Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, next we have Mandy Fine.
Mandy Fine, you're up.
We can't hear anything.
We can hear you now.
You can
I
hear.
don't think we'd introduce, but yeah, Mandy, I think go ahead.
Can you all hear me in the room?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to highlight a couple of things we've heard tonight. We've heard that the water meets maximum contamination levels. We've heard that there is no quote unquote fuel in the water. We have heard after flushing, we demonstrated that is not normal. Not anywhere on this planet is it normal to have this stuff in your water. I'd also like to highlight that the same EPA and the same Navy were that problem set as our future, and it's haunting because of the risk that you are honest and transparent with the community. And that is the fact that there still is in people's homes, in our dining facilities, in our gyms, in our schools, in our door, and every other public establishment, privatized housing, but the Department of Defense pays those private have not been updated. There is no addendum that talks about the water heaters, as Peggy just indicated, have not been replaced. Water. That isn't a true and honest assessment of what people are using. Make informed decisions on the risk that they will lose their children and that people do over their own lives.
You're at time, it's fine.
So we have more people requesting to speak, so we're trying to corral that. But next up is Catherine McClanahan, followed by Tara Rojas.
Yes, good evening. I have some questions. I wanted to kind of address this to Commander Dunn and the Navy staff there. Could you explain just to the public the difference between confirmation testing and re-extracting and reanalysis of samples?
It's my understanding that at this point, that would be an explanation that would appear in an FAQ or elsewhere, so that the back and forth will take up precious minutes.
And then I'll finish my last several questions and then submit them. If a sample is re-extracted and reanalyzed outside of standard practice and protocol, how does the Navy report those sample results, and do the public receive post?
Your sound cut out.
I'm getting some weird feedback, so I'm going to try to finish this and submit, but I would like to know also from the Navy, what notations do they provide on water sample results that are not the original, but they are the re-extracted and reanalyzed sample results? And then finally, there are field duplicate forms for chain of custody when samples are collected for testing, and I would just like to know those where the public can view the chain of custody forms for both the original and revised reports. And I'll submit these because I think there was a lot of intro of the Navy from the beginning of this meeting during my time. And finally, just regarding best practices, do any of the agencies believe that there needs to be a standardized sampling system required of the Navy, that they are to use a system that includes sequential numbers for their sampling, sequential reports, that they must, each chain of custody form must note its sample delivery group, that the cooler temp must be on each of the chain of custody forms, and that's any of the forms that do not meet this standard are notated by the laboratories for the public to review that. And I apologize, I got a little, I got a lot of overspeak from the intro from earlier tonight. So I'll submit these questions and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Catherine. Next up is Tara Rojas, followed by Meredith Wilson.
And who's the next speaker?
Tara Rojas, and then Meredith Wilson.
And I will let you know that we are going over because of the technical difficulties, but we will conclude at 8:15, even if there are people signed up.
Okay, I think we're on Tara Rojas. Should we proceed online?
Aloha, Tara Rojas. I have to say this, 2023, as we were listening, that the ACO, that the Navy responded that there's draft forms not finalized, will be posted sometime in the future, literal exact words. EPA, Department of Health, Navy, you cannot move forward with reopening, reactivating the wells. That, the basic things have not even been done yet. I echo what all the other testifiers said, what Marty said, what Mandy said, what Pedro said. How can you even think about reactivating from what I heard, I think March 2026? OLA, no. You cannot move forward if the basics of the ACO have not been completed yet, and you cannot allow the Navy to say, oh, I will be posted sometime in the future. It should have been done. The people to be advised of what's happening, all the water users on the Navy line, should have already been done. All we've heard is that 4 years, that you cannot even answer a simple question directly. You go round and round and round, and the question is never answered. So answer transparently and directly. And you said maybe that the hydrants are connected to the housing. It's all connected. And you're asking again, like, who are the people on these lines 4 years later? That's just no. So you need to err on the side of caution. You need to err on the fact that the ACO has not even been adhered to, completed. So no to reactivating and reopening this line. You don't even know what's happening. We heard Hanani said the dye testing has been missing. You don't even know what it is. You cannot reopen, and they are sitting there on behalf of the community, representing all of us, and we are saying no to reopening these wells. Now, you say what's in the water? There's contaminants, PFAS, jet fuel, maximum level. If there's contaminants, treatment, is the focus. The fact that it's in there, as Nani said, that you guys have failed. So do not reopen these wells. You just heard about the water heater and all the gunk that came out. If you put butter, you're glad I'm there. I was gonna bring butter. If you put butter on your hands and you just flush it with water, is it gonna come off your hands? No, your hands are still gonna be greasy. If you have oil in a sponge and you just flush the sponge, is the oil gonna come out? No. And we just heard it from the previous testifier about the hot water heater. So, I'm gonna end with this. Maybe, about however long ago you installed these tanks, as you said it before, you presented how great this fuel storage tank over a Soul Aquifer Island is built, and how you would care for it. And then we find out your lack of care for it. You didn't even test the wells. Then you polluted it, poisoned our water, and even your own people, and then you lied about it being safe to use and drink, and your people got poisoned, and people on the island got poisoned. Then you denied about it, harming people. There was no trial.
Thank you.
So you're just expert gaslighters at this point for 4 years. So
we need to move to the next speaker.
So please do not reuse and reopen the shaft. On behalf of the people of Hawaii, the island of Hawaii, do not open it. Mahalo.
Next speaker.
Okay, next up we have Meredith Wilson, followed by Tara Sutton.
Okay, Meredith, we couldn't hear very well online, but I think Meredith Wilson is next.
Thank you. Can you hear me in the room?
Yes.
We can hear you.
I don't want to waste any more time than I already have.
We can hear you.
I guess we're going for it.
Please go.
Can the room hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm getting
confirmation.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I hope that my questions will be asked, I guess, in an FAQ. Number one, in the tank closure plan supplement 4, it states Red Hill UST system operating records, document legacy fuel storage and coding system application, providing a definitive history of all materials that have ever been inside of the tanks. EPA's comments to the plan back in August request that they be provided this inventory. Have these records been produced to the regulators, and can they be shared with BWS? Number 2, turning to the draft PFAS remedial investigation work plan for Red Hill, it mentions PFOS exceedances in the Red Hill shaft on December 20th and 27th, 2021. EPA comments that there is no further discussion on these detections or the September 2023 detections of multiple PFAS contaminants in waste characterization samples from the AFFF retention line. Why was there PFOS in our drinking water well in December 2021? And has the Navy provided an explanation for these PFAS detects? Going back to another document, the EPA's Inspector General report from April 2023 said that although the Hawaii Department of Health website includes Red Hill monitoring data, quote, the lack of clearly communicated data may cause the public to be unaware or confused about existing and potential groundwater contamination at the Red Hill facility, end quote. Does EPA think that now the DOH is clearly communicating potential health effects and drinking water contamination risks to the public? Number 4, lastly, in October, EPA said that the Navy had only completed 4 of 14 required SOPs to properly operate and maintain their public water system. First of all, how are they currently running the drinking water system without these basic standards in place? And why are they being granted years to come up with fundamental operating procedures? I still, for some stupid reason, have ridiculous hope that the EPA, DOH, and Navy don't see our questions as something to avoid, but rather daily chances to get all of this right. Mahalo for your time.
Okay.
Okay, I believe we're, we are getting feedback that we can hear the speakers in the room. I know we can't hear the room right now on the line. The next speaker is Tara Sutton.
Good evening. I'm going to trust that everybody can hear me and just go for it. First, I want to thank everybody who is there sitting on the CRI. You're representing me and my family, and I appreciate you guys being there tonight and speaking and asking questions on my behalf, as well as 93,000 others in the rest of Oahu. Thank you for that. I also want to thank the Navy, EPA, and DOH for coming and answering the questions and being present. I want to echo a couple of things that were said, just to make sure that the weight of that is known and that there's agreement beyond just one person saying it. I hope that the prison does get looked at. Pedro is somebody that really needs to be listened to. That's not something that the registry can go into depth with. It's not something that, because it's not technically on the Navy water line, it's on the BWS line, but that doesn't mean that it shouldn't be looked at. And so the appropriate people to do that would be EPA or DOH at least. They look at the health and go back. Also, the flushing, there are concerns. I get concerns about the water being in the yard for the pets, for the kids, for just us walking around and it being aerosolized. I know I have 30 seconds left. I am the Director of Community Engagement for the Red Hill Registry, and I just want to speak to the community and everybody there at the table. Please register. Go to redhillregistry.org. and click the button that says join the registry and fill out a quick little survey that asks how, when, and where you used water, and that will direct you to the appropriate enrollment survey if it's going to be baseline enrollment, which is everybody on the water line during the exposure window of November to March during that 2021-2022 window, and then expanded enrollment is everybody on the water line before that window or after that window, and also the buffer surrounding areas around the Navy water line, so the prison would be included in that. So I just thank you, and I won't go over for the next person.
Okay,
Okay,
Jamie.
thank you.
If they can't
Our
hear,
next and I believe last speaker is Melody.
yes, Melody Aduja.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Melody Aduha, former member of the CRI.
Nice.
First thing I wanted to talk about is reclaimed water for the golf courses, because I know that Aqua Engineers does produce reclaimed water from 5 installations, and that water is sold for agricultural purposes. So why is it sold for public use? It cannot also be used for the golf courses. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing I want to talk about is the EA. I have talked about this before in prior meetings. We've got the Navy, the NOM, coming up for opening. Now you're telling us it's going to be in March, but there's been no EA. And for the Red Hill shaft, there is an EA. And so it seems a bit inconsistent, because on one hand, you found PFAS in the NOS shaft and no TPH in the NOS shaft. And yet you found TPH in the Red Hill shaft, but no PFAS in the Red Hill shaft. And when you look at the symptoms between the two, you've got chronic symptoms with PFAS, you know, and that can, unlike TPH, where there is, as we've heard tonight, smell, taste, and you can see it, versus PFAS is practically invisible and you can't see it, and yet there is no EA, where it's just preposterous to me. It's something that's so carcinogenic is not before the public to comment. And I guess the last thing is, why don't the DOH combine the PPTs for PFAS when there's already evidence that there is, 3 to 6 parts per trillion of PFOA and 2 to 5 parts per trillion of PFOS. If you were to combine it, it would be in excess of the MCL of 4 parts per trillion. So why is that not combined, and therefore the NOC cannot be opened? It cannot be reactivated. It's way too dangerous. There's another point I wanted to make. I know I'm out of time. I'm going to just say it real quickly. The Waiava shaft. The military wants to open the NOS shaft because they feel that they're not getting enough water, specifically from the Waiava shaft. So my question is, I know I don't want to put more for crimp on board of water supply, but if they can supplement what the Navy needs until they can get the NOS shaft and the Red Hill shaft, so that it is, in fact, safe drinking water. That might be better for everyone concerned. Thank you.
No way. I ain't paying.
Okay. Well, this concludes the public comment period. I want to thank you all for your patience with the very glitchy technology situation. Again, I want to thank the CRI members for your steadfast commitment and advocacy. That's the only thing that changes the world. I want to thank and appreciate the Navy for their expertise, your engagement, your connection, and your commitments to doing the job well. And I want to thank the EPA for convening this party this evening. And with that, this meeting is concluded.
Okay, we're getting confirmation that they did conclude the meeting in the room. Sorry we missed that concluding remarks, but they did hear all the speakers, and I appreciate everyone's time tonight on the line, and have a good evening. Thanks, everyone.
Is it on?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, aloha. So we just finished another meeting, our last meeting of 2025 with the U.S. Navy and the EPA. Our big concern right now is the reopening of the Navy Hālawa shaft. And with the questions that we asked and the answers that were not per se direct answers to the questions we asked, that causes us a lot more concern as well. So from what I gather from the information we were able to get out tonight is that we're looking at March 2026 for the Navy Hālawa shaft. It's a well to reopen, and that will start providing water to 93,000 residents that's on the Navy water line. What is really concerning to me is that they're not going to wait for Dr. Robertson's the UH model that they're creating on how the water is moving. And that is all very important because it tells us where, about where the plume will be moving, where the contaminants will be moving, what will happen. And that is really a big, huge concern that they're not going to wait for this model to be at least done before reopening the well. They're saying now that they don't need the model. They don't need to know how the water moves before they reopen this well, which was contaminated after the 2021 November Red Hill fuel spill. So that is a huge concern, and why this is concerning too, and what people need to understand is that the water is all connected underneath, and no one has really fully, truly mapped it out. The university professor who's doing the modeling right now of how the water moves, he used a red dye, 20 pounds, he put it in the water, and what he found, his initial results showed that the water was moving up, west, down, it was moving all over. And so clearly it wasn't aligning with what the U.S. Navy thought was happening with the water underneath based on their third-party contractor models. But what we need to understand is that the red dye study is the golden standard. That is the study we should be waiting and looking for before we do anything, before we make changes. My concern is the other wells around it. There is actually a BWS well, public well in between the Navy Hālawa shaft and the Navy Red Hill shaft. How is opening these shafts going to affect the well in between and the wells to the west? And we're talking about IAL wells, and we're talking about all the other wells that service other families that are not even on the Navy water system. So there's so many unanswered questions. They're really in a rush to reopen the wells that were poisoned after the 2021 November spill. So it's not, apologize if it sounds like I'm rambling, but I just feel like we asked a bunch of questions, we really didn't get the answers that we wanted or needed, and now that just opens up more questions. And I think at this point, we need to now take a stance against the reopening of the Navy Hālawa shaft. It's a stance, we have already taken a stance about it. I have personally already, but we need to map it out, like what could happen, and I think that needs to be addressed. Thank you everyone for coming and listening, but I'm grateful to have an opportunity to ask these questions on behalf of the community, and I'm here subbing tonight, so I'm no longer on the CRI, but I'm a sub. Aloha, everyone. Take care. Ola hikawai.
I was going to say, the amount of gaslighting, you could light a match.
Yeah.
And it just will explode.
It was like going round and round.
Yeah.
I know.
Bye, Mrs. Shaw.
Bye.